In our today's video, we are going to discuss about modal verbs. What are modal verbs and how many modal verbs are there? We will start with the definition of the modal verbs. Modal verbs are a type of the auxiliary verb, or we can say modal verbs are the special type of auxiliary verb which are used to express abilities, possibilities, permissions, or obligations. So as a whole, we can say that modal verbs are used to express four things: abilities, possibilities, permissions, or obligations. So basically, how many modal verbs are there in English? So as a whole, we can say that we have 9 modal verbs in English. And modal verbs are the special type of auxiliary verbs in which we express abilities, possibilities, permissions, or obligations. So let's start with our video, the modal verbs. We will explain one by one modal verb in detail along with the examples. First modal verb is can. First of all, we will see the usage of can. Basically, can is used to show the ability, the possibility, or permission. So remember the thing that can is used to express three things: abilities, possibilities, or permission. Number one, ability. Used to say what someone is able to do. For example, I have the ability to speak 3 languages. So this is the ability. So we will use can here. Another example, I can cook. So it's my ability that I can cook. Second example is the same that I given previously. She can speak 3 languages. So here can is showing the ability that she can speak 3 languages. So number one is ability, in which we have ability to do something. Second is the possibility. Used to talk about something that might happen. We are talking about the possibility that something will happen. We will take the example to make our concept clear. It can get very hot in summer. That in summer, that it can be very hot. So it is showing the possibility that in summers it can be more hot. Second example is it can rain later. So it is also showing the possibility that it can rain later, which is showing the possibility that rain can come later. So this is the second usage of can. Now we are moving towards the third usage of can, which is permission. And remember one thing, can is basically used for the informal talk. When we are talking formally, can will not used. Informally used to ask or give permission. For example, can I use your phone? ? So here I am asking permission. Another example, can I leave early today? ? So here I am also seeking permission that can I leave early today? Second example, you can use my computer. So I am giving permission to the other person that you can use my computer. So this is the first modal verb can, which has 3 basic things: ability, permission, and the possibility. I hope you are clear with the first modal verb. Second modal verb is could. Could is basically, you can say, the brother of can. So we will see the usage of could. Could is basically used to show the past ability, or to have a polite request, or to show less certain possibility. So as a whole, could is used in 3 things. First of all, we will see the past ability. Used to talk about what someone was able to do in the past. We are talking about the ability that in the past we have but now we don't have. For example, when I was young or when I was child, I could run fast. So it is showing the ability of me that when I was child, I could run fast, but now I can't run as fast as I was running before. So here, could is showing the past ability. Second use of could is the polite request. When we are going to have a polite request to someone, we can use could. Used to ask something in a polite way. So when we ask something in polite way, we can use could. For example, could you pass the salt please? ? So here we are having a polite request to another person that please can you pass me the salt? So here we can use could you pass the salt please? Third is possibility. Impossibility used to suggest something that might happen, that not happened yet, but it can happen in future. So it is also showing the possibility. So you have to keep in mind all the three things, that what is basically the use of the modal verb. For example, it could rain later. It is showing the possibility that it could rain later. It's not raining now, but it could rain later. So now we are done with two modal verbs. One is can and second is could. Now we are moving toward the third modal verb, which is may. First of all, we will see the usage of may, then we will use may in multiple examples to make our concept even more clear. So usage of may is in permissions and in possibility. So as a whole, we can say that may is used in two things: the permission, when we ask permission, or the possibilities. First of all, the permission. Used to ask for or give permission, more formal. So we have seen that can was used in informal permissions, but may is used in more formal way. So whenever you are sitting in a formal meeting or whenever you are going to write a formal thing, so may will be used. For example, may I use your phone? Question mark. Or in the classroom, you may ask your teacher, for example, may I go to drink water? So may is used here. Why? Because it's more formal way to ask permission. You may leave after the meeting? Question mark. So here may is showing the permission that I can leave after the meeting. Next is possibility. Used to talk about something that might happen. We are talking about the things that might happen, that not happen now, but it might happen in future. For example, we may go to the beach tomorrow. So here we are giving another person the possibility that we may go to the beach tomorrow. So we are done with our third modal verb, which is may, which is used in two things: the permission, meaning in more formal way, and second is the possibility. I hope you understand the concept till now. We are moving toward our fourth modal verb, which is might. Might is commonly used in our daily conversations, but we are still unclear that where we have to use it. So first of all, we will see the usage of might. So might is used in less certain possibility. So when there is not more possibility of something, there is less certain possibility, we can say that might is used. Possibility, used to express a small chance of something happening. When there is small chance or less chance of something happening, we will say that it is might. For example, it might rain tomorrow or it might rain today. So here there is less possibility. Another example, she might join us for dinner. So there is less possibility of her joining, but there is a certain possibility that she can join. So here we are done with our fourth modal verb, which is might. Fifth modal verb is will. Will is basically used to show the future actions or the willingness to do something. So I hope you are clear with the usage of will, used in two things: the future actions, which we are commonly aware of, and second is the willingness. Future actions. In future actions, they are used to talk about what will happen in future. When we think that, for example, I will go to the beach tomorrow. So it is showing the future action that I will go to the beach tomorrow. But here, it's not the possibility. I am sure that I will go to the beach tomorrow, so I use will here. Another example, I will call you tomorrow. So here we are clear with our future action that I will call you tomorrow. There is no certain possibility, there is a 100% possibility. Second usage of will is the willingness. Used to express willingness or offer to do something. So it means that when we have the will to help someone or will to participate in something, so we can say the willingness. For example, I will help you with your homework. So here we are clear with the willingness that I am willing myself that I will help you in your homework. So this is the fifth modal verb, will, in which we saw the usage and the examples of will. Now the sixth modal verb is would. So we will see where we have to use would. First of all, we will see the usage. So the usage of would is that we have to use it in polite request or the hypothetical situations. So whenever we are thinking about something that doesn't happen in past or present or future, but we are thinking about imaginative thing, so we will use would there. Number one is the polite request. Used to make polite request. When we are making a polite request, we will say would. For example, would you. So remember one thing, would can also be used to make polite requests. Not only can or could can be used, would can also be used. For example, would you mind closing the door? As a whole, we can say that if you don't mind, you can close the door. Second example is, would you pass the salt? Question mark. So here we are requesting the other person to please pass me the salt, and it's the way of doing a polite request. So would is used in the polite request, and second is hypothetical situations. When we are thinking something in imagination, we can say we can use would. Seventh modal verb is shall. So usage is future actions, more formal way, suggestions or offers. So remember that shall is used in more formal ways. Suggestions or in offers, shall can also be used. So we will see the example, future action. So whenever the action is happening in future, we will use shall, but it is used in more formal way. We can also say that I will return next week, but that is more informal. In formal way, we will say I shall return next week. Second is to give suggestion to someone. For example, shall we go out for dinner? So we are giving suggestion to another person that we shall go out for the dinner. So in question way, we can say, shall we go out for the dinner? At the end, question mark. So third is having an offer. So shall is used in three basically ways. The usage is in three ways: the future actions, formal, suggestions and offers. Shall I open the door? Question mark. So here shall will also use that shall I open the door. It is you are giving the offer to another person that can I open the door for you. So this was the seventh modal verb, shall. Eighth modal verb is should. Should and ought to are very much similar, and we will see the usage of both of them. So should is basically used to give advice, the recommendations or expectations. So we will use now should in multiple examples to make our concept crystal clear. So first use of should is to advise someone. When we are giving advice to someone, we say should. For example, you should see a doctor. It means that you have to go to doctor. You are giving advice to another person. So this was the first use of should, and we are saying that you should see a doctor. Second example, second usage of should is recommendation. When you are giving recommendation to other person, we will say should. For example, they should try the new restaurant. So you are giving advice to, you are giving recommendation to other person that they should try the new restaurant. Third use of should is expectations. So for example, he should be here by now. So you are expecting that person here by now, but he is not there. So you can say he should be here by now. So we are done with our eighth modal verb, which is should. Now we are moving toward our ninth modal verb, which is must. Must is very commonly used in our daily communication. For example, it is used in obligations, we can say in duties, in strong necessities, in logical conclusions. So here are three usage of the modal verb must, obligation, strong necessities, and the logical conclusions. Obligations. You must wear a seat belt. That is your duty, that you must wear a seat belt for your own safety. So this was the number one, obligation. Second is strong necessities. For example, I must finish this project today. That I have to complete these things. For example, I have to complete this homework by today. So we can say the necessity. Third is logical conclusion. So when we are concluding something in a logical way and the facts are there, so we can say logical conclusion. For example, she must be tired after such a long journey. So this is truth that she was on a long journey. So after that, she must be tired. So she must be tired after the long journey. Ninth modal verb is ought to. I have already told you that ought to is much similar to should. Usage, moral obligation or advice, and ought to is more formally used than should to. Should is used in informal situations, and ought to can be used in more formal situations. Usage is moral obligations and advice. You ought to apologize for your mistake. So this is the moral obligation, that you ought to mean you should apologize for your mistake. But we are using ought to in the more formal way. Second is of advice. They ought to be more careful with their spending. So here we are giving advice to another person that they ought to be more careful with their spending. Now we are done with our 9 modal verbs till ought to. So I hope you like my video. Subscribe my channel Laiba's English Corner for further English, grammatical and educational videos on the daily basis. Now we are having a small practice exercise. There will be different sentences and we have to solve, and let's see how much understanding you have from my video. First is blank you help me with my homework. So we can say, can you help me with my homework? Second is she blank be at the office. I saw her car outside. So we can say she must be at the office. I saw her car outside. Third is when I was younger, I blank climbed that tree. When I was younger, I could climb that tree, because we are talking about something in past. So last examples should be solved by you, because you have to see your understanding. So comment me down below. I will see that if your answers are right or wrong. So please subscribe my channel Laiba's English Corner for further English, grammatical, educational and literature videos on the daily basis. I hope you understand many things from my video. Please subscribe and share with your friends and family. Thank you so much.